Welcome! Hi. It's is my microphone alright? Okay, I think my microphone is functioning pretty alright. So yeah, welcome. We're back to basic beginner's Japanese level. So, or for those who are inspiring to take a certification test, that'll be the equivalent of N5. Yep. So this is your Dark Skin Boy VTuber, and today we'll be teaching Japanese. Yes. So this will be a mostly English stream. So for the Japanese speakers, unfortunately, I'll have you rely on subtitles for now. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. And I actually have like a pretty nice new setup, like streaming setup, like computer setup in general. So I would be able to stream. Oh, sorry. I guess much better. So yeah, let us. Maybe we could begin. Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe. So yeah, I think we have, as usual, our what do you call it? Media requests. The media requests are open as usual. Let me just open my stuff. Because why not? I hope this should be alright. Did it become like bigger? It did become bigger, so I'll have to adjust my subtitles for a bit. Or maybe let's not use subtitles for today. Because having to move this constantly kind of feels like a pain in the ass. No. Sorry. You know what? Let me adjust this. Okay, this might be a better. Or maybe this. Yeah, this feels better. こっちの方がいいと思いますが。So yeah, last week actually we went with the slightly more advanced. It's still basic Japanese per se, but you know, it's like N4 level. So the level above beginners level. So I would say N5 is like beginner's level, and then N4 is like still lower basic, like basic. And then once we go to like N3 content, once we go to N3, that'll become intermediate. And then N2 is in like upper intermediate, and then 1 is advanced. So you actually go to like advanced Japanese on N2 and N1. So So how do I tackle this for today? Of course, we'll have to like go with a review. So I actually have like my pen tablet right in front of me, so it's easier for me to like just out right. Although I may have to readjust my settings. Where is my? Yeah, so this would be like my problem for now. See this? So I'll just have to like go for like area setting. And this should be good. So see, my cursor is now here. So that means, the thing is working. Oh my god, the screams. That's like a top tier fry screaming right there. Maybe I could do something. Maybe I could something. Okay. I just did like some slight adjustments. So going to actually, actually reviewing. Like, oh, we're actually reviewing Japanese. So this is what we have learned from last time. So we have learned a bunch of like time durations. So in reality, for beginners Japanese, all you have to learn is the hours. So you would say 1時間、2時間、3時間、4時間、5時間. And then, probably if you want to like, go for extra, you can say 1週間, so 1 week, 2週間, 2 weeks, 3週間, 3 weeks, so on and so forth. That is relatively easy to memorize as well. So for minutes though, I did provide like some readings from 1 to 10. So 1分、2分、3分、4分、5分、6分、7分、8分、9分、10分. And then for months actually, this is normally not being taught in beginners Japanese like classes in high school or college. But you can also have 1ヶ月、2ヶ月、3ヶ月、4ヶ月、5ヶ月, so on and so forth. There would be others as well. From what you've noticed, we have seconds, 秒, 分, minutes, 時間, hour, 日 or か depending, a day. Day is probably like the most annoying part because it has a bunch of special numbers. 週間, yeah, week, and then ヶ月, and then 年 for year. And then actually, we got to discuss a bit of past tense as well. Don't ask me why the examples are sussy. Welcome to Rokuro's basic Japanese lessons. Welcome to my basic Japanese lessons, where every example is Sorry, did I moan too hard? So basically, the nice part about so the nice part, I guess, is the fact that for past tense, it's almost the same rules as the present tense. But instead of mas, you'll say mashita. For masen, you'll have masen deshita. For the linking verb des, it'll be deshita. And then dewarimasen, that'll be dewarimasen deshita. And then we have some kanji. So up, down, middle, half, and then mountain, river, origin, spirit. Okay? So that's what we have learned last time. So let me just take stuff. So this will be, beginner's Japanese. Oopsie. So yeah. Oh, this is a good number. 1919. So if we could like give yeah, I'm just like scrolling through my materials to see if there's something missing. Yes, actually. So okay, so we'll be mostly focusing still on more grammar. Have I mentioned taksan? I think I mentioned taksan already. I may have to go back here for a bit and see which ones I've already. Okay, so we now know our first one. Alright, so let me adjust my microphone. I'll just like put it like a bit of a distance so that whenever I speak, I'll just like pick it up more naturally without it being an interference. Alright, so one of the things we'll be discussing today is describing where things are. So we know arimasu and imasu from our lesson last month. Yes. So, as usual, I think my only problem is that my hands could like interfere with the camera, I guess. But oh well. we'll be continuing more of grammar points. So, in case you're wondering, Brokuro, Wolfie, where is the do we learn new words? Not until 2 weeks later, I think, or maybe afterwards we'll introduce some more kanji. Let me adjust like the tilt of my tab. Because I can write weird sometimes, like, depending on the angle I write on the tablet. Sa bunko. You know what? I kind of love this song. This is Hokago no Shi by Akume. Go in. That's fine. Sorry. So today, so for one of our grammar points, we'll be discussing where things are. For example, where is my will to live? Sonzai shimasen. It doesn't exist. Sorry. So last time, I think we've discussed this before. We used doko desu ka, right? So this is worth a recall. So, for example, we usually ask for, worst place, Now, of course, like we know, we discussed how to ask where a place is. So, where is, this, where is this, this particular place or something? And then we could answer what? like Asoko. Hold on. Can I like rewrite this? So let me like specify a. For example, for those who like buying dojin, so we, you know, the most popular one being what again? Comic Market, Comiket. That's in Tokyo Big Sight. So you can ask a Tokyo Big Sight to a doko desu ka? So this one, for example. Maybe I could zoom out. So we have our location, Tokyo, big site. So is basically this is really Tokyo big site is where, of course, up in proper English that is, where is big site? Where is Tokyo big site? So we have that, this question. Of course, we can respond with. So we can say. Tokyo big site wa so we have we have the candidates, right? We have either Koko or Soko or Asoko. Which translates to So we have usually for our answer, it'll be either Koko right here, Soko right there near you, or Asoko over there. Okay? Of course, we wouldn't be satisfied with just saying Koko, Soko, Asoko. Like, it's just like here, there near you, or over there. Like, what if you want to specify direction? So we'll make use of location words. So we could say, oh, this place is in front of, at the back of something. So we want to be able to describe a location relative to another. Sorry about that. And we can actually do that. So okay, there. So we'll make use of location words. So directions could be like front, back. So one is hidari. Hidari. So that's left. And then we have right, that'll be migi. So left, right, and then we have up, down. So up would be ue. And then how about down? That'll be sta. Sta. Of course, we can have front and back, right? Hold on. Let me just like adjust these or it should be good. And then we have how about front and back? So front would be my My and then back would be 後ろ後ろ And then how about just general, you know, near? I think if I'm correct, this is so for let me check. I was almost there. So soba. Soba, that means near. Or sometimes it could be like, you know, right beside you. Ah! Back shots! Ah. えへ。何に打たれましたか？なんか白い液体とか。いや。来てくれてありがとう。Thank you for coming! Thank you for coming. Good. Wow. Shot from the back. We call that back shots. Ow! No. Anyways, we have soba, which is near. And how about like beside, you know? I forgot some of the kanji. Let me just like input them one time. Okay. And then we have tonari. Tonari. That means next to. We good so far? We good so far? You know, I think another like word for near is I think this is like the more common. I think it's you can also say this is also possible. And I think in fact this is the more common. Okay. And then there's also a yoko for tonari. So for tonari and yoko, it's more of, you know, describing two objects that are side by side. Okay, so how do we use these useful location words? So we can go back to this recall, to this example. So instead of just saying, Tokyo Big Sight is over there, we can say, yeah, Chikai could be like, vicinity. Soba is actually like closer, but then the way it's translated as near, it feels like Chikaku is more of like, I guess if it's better, if it's, if it's the English word for, if it's like the Japanese word for near. Like in terms of vicinity, yes, Chikaku. But if it's like really, really near you, it's just like soba, I guess. Watashi wa soba ni imasu. I am in soba. Like the buckwheat noodles. No, that's different though. So we can have an example right here. So we'll use Tokyo Big Sight again. Maybe I could actually make this smaller. You could say, but then in reality, the Tokyo Big Sight is really noticeable. You won't even have to ask where the hell it is. Like honestly though. Or you can say, oh, ano biru no, ano biru no ushiro desu. So you can say, oh, it's right behind that building. So you can say that. Tokyo Big Sight wa. We can say this building. It's right behind this building. So instead of just saying the entire, name, building, no, it'll be biru, so referring to the building. But that's a good one. So that in English, that'll become Tokyo Big Sight is right behind this building. we will, if we will analyze the sentence, so Tokyo Big Sight to us. So we're talking about Tokyo Big Sight, right? We have このビルの後ろ and remember how the particle no functions, right? Okay, so we good so far? So we can actually, describe like some more things. For example, so let's have another example. So remember ginko? Ginko means bank. And want to like give another place? Anything you'd like, any location you want to mention? Maybe let's go for Caesarea. I think this is Caesarea. Like, how do you... Yeah, it's Caesarea. So this time, we use tonari. So in English, this will be the bank is right beside or right next to or next to the library. Oh, sorry, next to Caesarea. Caesarea is and it like like a chain, like a restaurant chain that serves like Italian food. So Japan has Caesarea. We basically have like the likes of a Panera. What else do we have here? What do you call it? No, La Madeleine is French. I forgot. So yeah, these are like relatively simple. Let me just like encircle some of these. Yeah, I think this makes much more sense. Okay, we can actually use those words as well to, form like to describe like an event, that occurs in the book. Like for example, oopsie. Oh, there. Uh, have I introduced the word honya? Oh, just give me one. Okay. So who's familiar with Torano Ana? Who's familiar with Torano Ana? No? Torano Ana is basically like a store for doujin goods. Like a bunch of anime stuff and also like indie stuff as well. Like indie doujin works. So I'll put that as an example because I love doujins. Like, doujin 誌が好きなのでつい So let's say Kino, yesterday, right? Kino. So Torano Ana also has like physical, like location. So we can say, Torano Ana no Mae. Or you can say, Torano Ana no Tempo. So Torano Ana store. Basically, Tempo is the, a store branch. Or Mise. 昨日虎の穴の店舗で You probably know the next word here. Dojin. 同人誌を買いました。So you can actually do this. Or wait. No. Let's make it different. Give me a name. Give me a name. That's a good name. Okay, Kolga. So let's go for Kolga. Kolga is just like anyone's name, you know? But there, Kolga-sanをSo let's try reading this. So 昨日虎の穴の店舗の前でKolgaさんを待ちました。So we already have like this useful word already, like we have been this earlier. Mae, right? So in English we have So we have Torano Ano no Tempo, so the Torano Ano store. No Maide, so in front of the Torano Ano. So whenever we use these, location, whenever we use these location words, in order to describe things that happen there, we will use de. So So the way to approach this is, so we have yesterday, torano ano no tempo no mae, right? So we have a place basically in front of the torano ano store. What happened there? Which is answered by, Koga-san wa machimashita. So I waited for Koga there. Okay? Any questions you have so far? Oh my god, I'm sleepy. I'm becoming sleepy myself. You all good so far? So we can probably reinforce this by providing another example. Hmm. Okay, do we know what Eki means? Train station? I'll introduce it here, don't worry. I think the more apt here is, wait, but let's try other stuff. Oh, okay. Uh, Or you could say kaimashita, buy or eat, whatever. So our nice location word here would be chikaku de. Chikaku. So I ate near the train station. So eki is a train station. So yeah, for like things you do in there, except for like location words and existence words such as arimasu or imasu. For like action words you do, in a certain location you use de after the location. Okay. So location de action. Okay. So machimasu, tabemasu, or tabemashita. Okay, so any questions so far? Feels like you're all asleep. Let me just have like a nice line over here. This should be good. I just need this slide basically for me to know where I would put my next like headers. So next grammar point will be a more fundamental one. It's relatively simple. So has two functions. First is basically the conjunction, the and conjunction to connect two nouns and. So let's have this example. Like, what if you're already like fluent in, Japanese? You would say, So for example, we have this sentence. So yeah. So the first function of to is pretty straightforward. It connects two nouns. So 英語と sorry. 日本語と英語を話します. So I speak Japanese and English. So pretty straightforward, right? So how about I mentioned just now it has two functions. So what's the other function? So let's consider this example. You know, since I used, I introduced like a name, a person named Koga, who may be existing, or just like a fictional character. Who knows? Just for the sake of example. Ashita. I'll be a collateral, I guess. Rokuro-kun. Rokuro-kun. Wow, how bad. I just put in the not subtitle, the English as well. Okay, so we have this example. I forgot this. Ashita, Rokuro-kun wa コウガくんとショタフェスに行きます。So tomorrow, Rokuro will go to Shota Fest with Koga. So what's like the important thing here? So if we ignore the underlined, the underlined part, we'd have this. 明日、ろくろくんはショタフェスに行きます。So that goes, that's the same for the English as well. Tomorrow, Rokuro will go to Shota Fest. So the second function of ko in this case is to indicate an action you'll be doing with another person or with another thing. So it has the it means, together with, So in this case, I'll be, the action is going to Shota Fest. And who will I be doing it with? Who will I be going to Shota Fest with? Koga. And this, Okay, any questions so far? This may be confusing, so would you like another example? Another? Sorry about that. If y'all actually notice, you can see like my local time there. You can see like my local time on the bottom right corner of the screen. So because 2 weeks ago we actually learned a past form, past tense, sorry. I think it would be nice for us to introduce stuff in past tense as well. So let's have another example. Oh. Okay. So for those who may have been subscribing to, my Japanese lessons, you may be familiar with this. Hotel Sogo. Eh. I'm so bad. See, this is why you shouldn't trust like a pervy wolf like me to teach Japanese. Eh. Mm. Okay, let me just like write in English as well. Okay, there. Okay, so let's read together. 先週、ホテル総合でレン君と勉強しました。So of course, given our current lesson, we have this important figure, right? Oopsie. So yeah. So it's usually, when you want to do an action with another person, it'll be like right before the action itself. Alright? Or at least right before the object, if there's like an object. Like what did you study specifically? Uh-oh, I'm getting sleepy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yabai. So yeah. So let us try to, analyze the sentence. So, 先週, last week, ホテル総合で. So we have the location. We have learned it earlier. So we have location, で, and then action, right? So I studied, so it's first here but last here, as expected. But here's the thing. Afterwards, we have the location, right? But then this is like first one after. So we have in Hotel Sogo with Len, but instead of like going backwards, here's the interesting part. For Japanese, you could go with 先週、レン君とホテル総合で勉強しました。So this could be first or second. This could be second, or this could be first. This could be second. So if you say something like, 先週レン君とホテル総合で勉強しました。That's perfectly valid. You can also say 先週ホテル総合でレン君と勉強しました。That's also perfectly valid. Okay? As long as, the proper markers are there. You see, we have they here indicating, the action took place in a certain location. And then we have to, meaning you did a certain action with someone. Okay? Okay, in the meantime, I think it's a good time to take a short break. There'll be like ads soon. But you know what? Once ads start, I'll take a break. How about that? Okay, so mo. So this is actually. So we learned last time that we could use the particle mo to what? To imply shared property, right? For example, yeah, let's have this example. Actually recall. Oh look, I'm lying in broad daylight. Look at me lying here. Why is no one complaining about this? Oh, this time I haven't listened to this in a while. So we recall last time, right? So see the difference here. So the first sentence has wa, so it feels like a usual sentence, right? Rokuroku wa seisu desu. Rokuro is say so. And for the second sentence, Reza-kun mo seisu desu. There. Like see the difference. So on the first sentence, it's your usual, you know. So the second sentence is like try to connect with the first sentence in such a way that Rokuro and Razor are both say so. Both clean and pure. Okay? So do you remember this? And what have you noticed? To emphasize that, you know, the second item, in this case, Razor, is also has the same property. We replaced, it's almost like the same structure, right? And it's just that ka gets replaced with mo, right? So let's try another example. You know what? Is there be like ads soon? There'll be ads soon, so I think it's a good time for us to take a short break. Okay? We good? We good so far? みんなよろしいでしょうか? Are we good? Oh, sorry. I guess I'll see you in a few moments. So yeah, take a short break, okay? Okay, I'm back. How's everyone so far? はい、ただいま戻りました。ということで、ということで、so let's go with like our second sentence. So of course, using mo doesn't end there. So let's have this. Sorry. Whoopsie. Okay, so let's okay, so let me consider this example. Sorry about that. I'm getting distracted. Okay, honestly though, like I'm also like lurking in other like streams. I'm like, man, I'm getting distracted with all these information around. Anyway, so okay, let's be real. Let's go back to our Koga-kun. Koga. Oh my god, I don't know why my Japanese writing kinda sucks now. I don't know why. Oh, better. Okay, so let me like write the two examples already. Hold on. Oops. Okay. I was just checking because just just in case I may get it wrong. Okay, so we have these two not examples, these two sentences. So we have these sentences for example. So Koga-kun wa hon wo kaimashita. So Koga bought a book. So the first one is pretty much like what we can understand so far. And then next one, Koga-kun wa dakimakura mo kaimashita. So it's almost the same structure, but this time we're still referring to the same subject, Koga. But what changed this time? So Koga also bought a body pillow. So this time, the substitution went to the object marker. So because on the first example, we replaced the topic marker because both topics save the shared property, right? This time, the object gets replaced by mo because both objects, hon and dakimakura, share the same property. The property being they were bought, they were purchased, right? So, and also the reason why I put, Koga-kun wa on parenthesis is because on the second sentence you can erase this actually. So you can say something like Koga-kun wa hobo kaimashita. And then for the second sentence, dakimakura mo kaimashita. Because when you say those two sentences in succession, it is already implied that in the second sentence, you are referring to the same person, Koga-kun. Okay? So in a lot of cases, it's not just the topic that can have a shared property. It could also be, it could be just a subject in general, or it could be the object. So in this case, for two things with the shared same property, sorry. So sorry. I was referring to substitution, right? Thank you for the third month of subscription. I'm sorry, I was screaming. 3ヶ月のサブスクありがとうございます。 男のバナナ。男のバナナ。バナナ。バナナ。やめて。Maybe for Valentine's, it's choco-filled banana. Wait, no, chinko-filled. No. No. I think nowadays, what we do is this. Instead of choco, like this, right? So this becomes a blank now. Yes, that's what I want for Valentine's. Yes, I want for Valentine's. Anyways, I want both. Choco and Chico. I did not say anything. Nope. Arya. Hold on. You're getting auto-modded every time. Because I would always accept it. So right now I'm drinking saketini winter watermelon flavor. Hi, ito. Okay, ne? Ito sake 酒をベースしたカクテルを飲んでます。味はスイカです。スイカ味です。美味しい。So it has sake, 5%. Kind of weak. So I was mentioning earlier. So for the topic, the subject, and the object, they could be replaced directly with mo. Okay? So those replacements are possible to imply shared property. So that begs the question, how about ni? So for ni, it becomes Nimo. So let's have this example. So like for example, you can put, ni. So for example, we're better off just writing an example, honestly. 昨 신주. Uh, oh my god, so this is quite the expensive trip I got there. So yeah, so we have this example. So on the first sentence, we have 昨日新宿に行きました. So I went to Shinjuku yesterday. And then second sentence, 銀座にも行きました. So for ni, instead of replacement, we're adding ni mo. Instead of replacing ni with mo, we're adding mo. So, ginza ni mo ikimashita. Okay? So, what are, what's like the shared property here? What are the two objects that share the same property? Shinjuku and Ginza, right? These are the same in the sense that they're both places I've been to yesterday, right? This is the shared property. In fact, it's also yesterday. It's just omitted on the second sentence because you can't omit that. It's already implied. Okay? So I think this is like yep. So I think we're good on the grammar so far. So just a short recap. So for grammar, what we have covered describing where things are. So we have like location words, such as hidari, migi, ue, shita, mae, ushiro, soba, or chikaku, and then tonari or yoko. Okay? We have some examples here. And then we also discussed to, the function of to. So we have two functions here. First is to connect two nouns. And then the other is to imply that an action is done with another person. Okay? and then mo. So we've actually expanded on the notion of mo for, you know, objects having the same property. So this could also be applied to not just topics, but also subjects, objects, and locations, time, so on and so forth. Okay? And now actually we'll be proceeding with kanji. Fun, how fun. So next up would be kanji. Dokuro, haven't we learned kanji already before? Well, yes! We learned kanji before, but we'll learn some more, basically. If the Chinese saw that, I would probably be, you know, condemned. So yeah, as always, you know, I've been telling everyone, or have I told everyone already? Half of, not really just half, like, but a huge chunk of learning Japanese is learning Chinese. Right? Let me drink my sake tea. Ah, oishii. Oishii da ne. So we already learned like some kanji last time. Of course, we'll be learning some more. Because why not? You know? We ended up with heat, spirit. So, will be for today we have 10 kanji. Or maybe we don't have to like put in everything. We'll see. The first kanji would be okay, so the first kanji is heaven. So how it's written is basically this. So we have 1, 2, and then the kanji for person. So see the convergence, so you write from here, from the same point. So 1, 2, then 3, and then the fourth stroke would be coming from the center. Okay? Pretty simple. So this is mostly, 10. Like, so I think 2 weeks ago we already had this example. Tenki. So tenki means weather. And then, so heavens and then the spirit. So the spirit of the heavens would be, weather. And then another word. Oh, sorry. Tengoku. Tengoku. Tengoku means heaven. So if you think about it, so it's a country in heaven. Like the heavenly kingdom, I guess. Tengoku. And then let's have like another word. Tenshi. Tenshi. We have angel. And then last one, I guess. Let's go for. Let me just verify if I have this correct. Sorry about that. Amaterasu. So, Amaterasu. Or the full name is actually Amaterasu Omikami, but this is the supreme god in Japanese mythology. Or the sun god. So I think this is good for now. So we have these words relating to the kanji heaven. Hold on, you give me 1 sec. 叫んでる言葉。あ、ああ、ともるくんでしたっけ？ああ、了解了解了解。僕なんかより清楚だと思いますが。ありゃ。あ、僕的にはもうとっくに終わってる。そして、来てくれてありがとな、兄貴。ただいま、漢字を、教えようとしています。ちょうど、こんな感じで、文法形式とか、教えたんだから、そろそろ漢字教えようかなと。大体英語なんだけど、代わりに字幕貼っておいただから。So yeah, I was just like mentioning how we've been to several grammatical points already, and we're at the kanji section. So we're done with the kanji for heaven. Next up would be... Okay. 次は、Okay, so we have this kanji that means I or private. So because I personally use boku, this may have maybe like, not like less frequently used, I guess, than it should. But for formal conversations, always go with watashi with this one. So to write this kanji, we have two parts, like the left here and the right one, right? You can see like you can split this into two parts. You can split this into two parts, right? So the left part is actually this. 1, 2. So it's almost like a tree, but you'll just have to add this first one before you write the tree. So imagine something like this, right? And then just like something above. But you write that above one first. So 1 and then the 3. And then the right side, we know how to write katakana. So if you combine these together, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the left side. And then right side. Yep. Shouldn't be so bad. So, at least from now on, we'll be able to write, watashi in kanji. So, like for example, I would like to say so. If you want to like say, oh, I want this. これが or something. Okay? 私は or something. So by itself, we know this is watashi. So this is our first person, name. Let me try that again. that's watashi. So watashi, it's I or my, if you add no, right? I or me. So the first person pronoun. And then, what about the other meaning? Private. So we have this one. Shiritsu. Shiritsu means private. Like it could be a school. Or some other thing. So usually you would say this towards, shiritsu gakko, so private school, or shiritsu daigaku, private college, shiritsu koukou, so on and so forth. So what would be the opposite, Rokuro? The opposite will actually be kokuritsu. That's like the state, for example, Kokuritsu Daigaku, that's a state university. Okay? Or I think for public, it'll be Kokoku. Koritsu. You can put this also on like a park. For example, Shiritsu Koen, private park, Or private road, Shiritsu Doro. Or sorry, Shido. Yeah, there's also private roads, Shido. And then I have like another word in mind, but let me just like make sure. Oh, there. Shioku, that means a self-interest. So I think this should be good for now. So either you use, this kanji by itself to refer to yourself, so watashi, or this could be like in conjunction with other kanji to basically form like certain words relating to private. So this should be good for this kanji. So let's go to the next one. You may have seen me write this before. So next up would be ima, right? The kanji for now. So this is relatively simple actually, in a sense that all you have to do is what? You have the cover, you have the rooftop on top, And then underneath that is, it looks like Ra. It looks like Ra, right? The katakana for Ra. But you can go with that, or you can go with like a notch. Either way, it's readable. So by itself, you know, I mentioned it earlier, now, ima, right? And then we have konban, tonight, or konshu, this week. So konshu, this week. There's also a kyo, right? This is special though, because this isn't really like a reading for ima or shikon. This reading is reserved for this specific combination only. Okay, and there's also another one. Also similar. This reading, Kotoshi, is only reserved for this particular pair. There is no like division, not this is not ko and then this is no. Or actually for this one, you may think of this as instead of kon toshi, no. Just think of this as kotoshi. This two kanji. And then the other, this is kyo. Okay? We good so far? So we have 3 kanji discussed so far, and then let's go for the 4th one. This kanji actually is more prevalent in names. This is more prevalent in names. So we have this is one of those rare kanji that actually looks like how it's meant. It means rice field because it looks like a rice field. So how do we write that? So when we go for a box, only write the first 2 strokes and then so vertical first and then 2 horizontal to close everything. Okay? So the actual like rice field is tambo. So I mentioned earlier, this kanji is more prevalent in names, right? This kanji, right? So for example, Tanaka. This is probably one of like the most common surnames in Japan. You know what? For like extra, let me search for like other meanings. Oh, okay. So there's another one. Although this is similar to like Kyo, where this is like a reading specific to despair and cannot be separated, you know? Inaka. So we have the rural area. Inaka. We good so far? I think there's also let me just like verify. Ah, okay. Oden. Oden. So, for those who are like balls deep into anime culture or like Japanese culture, you may be familiar with the name. This is like, you know, Oden. Like, how do I show this? Like, okay. Yeah, this, you would probably see this so far. Something like this. No, not this. Oh my god, maybe I should search in hiragana instead. It's usually when served in a bowl, it usually looks like this. But in like, you know, a stand, like in a food stall, it looks something like this. So like, you have this broth. You have this broth right there. And then you have like all these sections, like divisions. And then each section has its own like category of ingredients being put there. And it somehow reminds you of a rice patty. Yeah, it should remind you, like the shape should remind you of a rice patty, right? Hence, it's called oden. Oden or oden. Because, you know, the way it's usually served in stalls resemble that of a rice field. Okay? Anyway, thank you for the additional window. But then it's usually just written in hiragana. Hold on. It's been lagging a bit. Hold on. Oh, there. So yeah, I think that should be good for now. So you would see a bunch of like Japanese names with the rice field, you know, kanji, which is understandable because they use it a lot in names. Okay. Okay, next kanji. So we have our next up would be the kanji for a woman. Okay, so an easy way to remember this kanji is to remember what a female ninja is. Kunoichi, right? So that's the mnemonic we use to remember this. So Kunoichi is a female ninja, right? So but in hiragana you say ku no. So ku, the hiragana for ku, and then the katakana for no, and the kanji for ichi. These are the strokes you need. So when you try to put them together, ku no ichi, ku no ichi. Breaks, right? Let's try that again. Ku no ichi. Of course, you would just like bend this a bit so that it looks cleaner. So eventually you'll have something like... Okay? So for vocabulary, we have... By itself, this is just onna. And then how about like, you know, the female sex? We call it josei. I just need some like space here. Okay, this is better. Josei. So this is the female sex. Like the biological sex, okay? Not the act. Okay, question. Who loves femboys? Who loves femboys? I do. Okay, Astolfo, my beloved. Astolfo. Anyway, so we'll introduce this vocabulary. Joso. Joso. Joso is cross-dressing. So this one actually, you can put suru here to say to cross-dress, okay? Rokuro, why do you know this word? So, Pervy Wolf, why do you know this word? Nande daro ne? Naze daro ne? Why do you think? Wink, wink. Let's find like some more. Sorry about that. Okay, so probably last one for now. We'll have this. Jo. So this is a queen. Oh no. Let me put like another word instead so that we have some exposure on other readings as well. Megami. Megami. This is a goddess. Okay, so this should be good for now. I know, this is quite a lot. You know what? Let me transfer this. I'll just go for like 6 kanji for now so that we wouldn't be, you know, too swamped. Oops, sorry. Probably the nice thing about all of this, you know, is being able to do this kind of stuff. Pretty nice, right? And the next kanji would be, if there's a woman, there's a man. I mean, not really pairing wise, but just because, you know, we're expecting the opposite sex. So next kanji would be, we're expecting for the man. So Rokuro, Wolfie, we see this. So there's a rice patty. Well, yes. So if that helps you, so we can split this into two parts, the upper part and the bottom part. So we can split that into two parts. So the top part is, as you may have noticed, a rice patty. The bottom part, this is actually a kanji that means power. This is, yeah. It looks like ka. Oops, sorry. It looks like ka, the katakana, right? You can think of it like that. So when you combine the two, you have, so top part would be the rice field. Then bottom would be, there we have it. So by itself, it's just read as otoko. So yeah. Rokuro, if there's a joso, is there also a danso? Yes. Let me just like verify if it's true. Yeah, although danso would be like still cross-dressing, but you know, like disguising as a man. Of course, the male biological sex is danse. No. I'm not no. No. Yeah. I mean, I do hope you understand this, right? Right? Rokuro, if there's like a jo-o, is there like a dan-o? No. By default, it's just kami. But anyway, so we have this word as well. Danshi. So we know this, or do we know? This means a boy. Not a man, a boy. Okay? Okay, this is probably your favorite part. Yeah. Yeah, so you can say either danshi or otokonoko. But there's, you know, another one. Let me just like move this. So, otokonoko. That kanji is boy. Like, otokonoko as in this, boy. But this one, otokonoko, it's a trap. Or I think modern, we call it a femboy. Yep, a femboy. Otokonoko. Yep. But this is, just take note though. This is limited to this. A danshi is, boys in general, but they're almost interchangeable. Otokonoko or danshi. Like, either otoko no ko or danshi. They're almost the same. So you don't really have to, But this is a different otokonoko though. This is different. And because of this kanji, yeah, this is mostly like femboy. I'm more of shonen. Like, I'm more of shonen. But this will be like next time. Like, what the hell is shonen? To be fair, it's actually hard to like see, to check like the difference between danshi, otokonoko, and shonen. I mean, I'm too old for shota. I mean, no. It's more of like, I'm too big. Sorry, I'm too big to be a shota. Like, to be shota, I really have to be like, childlike. Oh my god. 違うって。あれじゃない。違うって。男のバナナ。男のバナナ。ダメ。男のバナナ。やだ。いっちゃいそう。遠いな。ダメ。いや男のバナナ。ダメだ。やだ。男のバナナ。ダメだ。なんで変な音をやらせてるんだよ。やだ。ダメ。おい。そんなこと好きなんだろうね、お前。男のバナナ。ダメだ。おい、さすがに多いな。ちょっと待って。休ませて。休ませてくれよ。おい。違うって。変な音を出してほしいだけなんだろうね。Y'all only want me to, let out all these weird noises. Come on. I mean, whose fault is it? Take responsibility. Are you going to take responsibility for me? Boo! 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 なんだよ、もう。釣れないな。I mean, it's it's almost Valentine's, so you know, I'm expecting choco. Why am I drinking sake tea on like a morning? Choco banana. Yes, でっかいチョコバナナが好き。言い方。Okay, my wording may have been weird, but oh well. 笑うんじゃないぞ。Like, don't laugh. Come on. But yeah. I think the only problem with, you know, the word like trap is the fact that it's being used towards real people as well, like particularly transgender. Like, we just call transgender in Japanese transgender. Like, that's it. Nothing else. And then you have, you know, like, what's in anime doesn't really apply to reality. So when I say it's a trap, like, you know, this character is a trap, I'm literally just meaning this character is a trap. Like, don't use it towards people. ダメだよ. That's a no-no. Okay, I think let's go for like the last kanji for today. Probably like one of like the first kanji, one of like the first kanji for verbs we will be using. So this is important because you should be able to write some kanji for certain verbs at least. You are expected actually. Yada. Ino? I won. At that point, I may not, you know, bite on it. I would probably just like, you know, treat it like a lollipop. Yabai, yabai. Dame da yo, dame, 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 dame. Dame da yo, dame da yo. Okay. Otoko no banana. ダメだ、バナナ。待って待って待って。授業中だぞ。バナナ。Wait, I'm still in class. Imagine if you throw, you know, otoko no banana at your professor, you'll be like... your professor just like moans during lecture. Okay, how to write this kanji? So we have the upper part, which is 1, 2, 3. So we know we're used to this, right? The only difference is that we have 2 lines inside, okay? That's the one above. In fact, this kanji is for the eye. And then the bottom part is basically just put legs to it. This kind of looks like Rue, right? Well, yes. But what I wanted to do is, the first stroke is this, and the second one is down, but there's a hook here. So it's like kind of L, but make it smoother, and then a hook afterwards. So when you combine these two, you'll have then the bottom part. So a friend of mine actually mentioned before, like it looks like an eye with legs. You can think of it that way. Like I wouldn't mind, like honestly. That's a good way of remembering it. So, because you know, to see, so we're expecting this to be a verb, right? Miru, to see. And then we have I know this exists, so let me just like confirm the meaning. Hold on. So King, okay, sorry about that. Kengaku. So this means inspection or study by observation. Or in other words, you know, watch and learn. Hi, mitai desu. Okay, sorry about that. My internet crashed. Okay, are we good? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? もう戻ってきたのでしょうか? Okay, I think we should be good now. Okay, so we have this other one, a Kenbutsu, sightseeing. So actually, both of these you can add suru. So kengaku suru to basically, you know, to watch and learn or to study by observation, to inspect. And then kenbutsu suru to sightsee. Basically, that's it. Hold on. Never mind. This doesn't have a suru. Never mind. Sorry. I was a bit wrong. So kenbutsu, just like sightseeing. No, this is actually suru verb. I was right after all. You can add suru here. Okay. And then another one. I think I have like my auto, oh, come on. Okay, iken is opinion. So it's usually either mir or mi, by itself, or as a verb to see, or with a bunch of other kanji, it's iken. It's ken, So we have kengaku, kenbutsu, iken, and so on and so forth. Okay, I think that should be it for the kanji for now because I know this is a lot. This is quite the con. If you tell me like you're tired from all of this, like I wouldn't be surprised. Like this is quite taxing. So let me just like, adjust a bunch here. Sorry. You know what? Where is my... Uh-oh. What the hell?